Thank you for returning for part two by myself, Clarice, of Rejected from the Womb. So, back to what I was saying. Now I live at my auntie house, and I was the only child. She had four kids. And I was used to being at home with my grandmother, would see my cousins. I would see them every day because I went to school with them. I wasn't a selfish kid. I shared everything that I had. Um, so now living at my auntie house, it's a different environment. I have to, yes, I've already shared bed with my grandmother, but now I'm sharing beds with my cousin. And now my mother had moved in as well. So during this time, my aunt stayed the course of what my grandmother had said, that they agreed upon, if she should die. So I was still going to like cousin's house, my uncle. Everyone would come and get me and take me different places, to keep me from going somewhere with my mother alone. So after a while, that got old. People started getting tired, doing extra things out of their, schedule. And so now I'm at home. I'm at home, my aunt, my cousins, and I just felt like, to be honest, I just felt like I was rejected all over again because it was, this is theirs, yours is over here, or, oh, you can't do that, but they can do that. Even when it came to like personal hygiene stuff, like I would ask questions because I'm used to asking questions when it came to my grandmother, but then no one else had time. So I had to pretty much teach myself or watch others, on how they would do things, how they would carry themselves, words that they would say, and I had to protect myself, I felt. So now I'm at the age of 11. And, my mother is trying to prove herself to everyone that, like, she can take care of me and buy me things. I had every pair of Jordans. I had every new outfit like OPP and different things that came out in Chicago. I even had like a lot of bougie clothes like London Fog and stuff like that. Like nobody my age I saw wear those things but myself. Um, Not knowing that my mother was dressing me up like advertisement. Yes, people were still saying, "Oh, that's not your daughter. She don't look nothing like you." And so now it started getting more intense. So now at this point, I'm in fourth grade. When I was in fourth grade, I want to say I was 9 years old. That's around the time my grandmother passed away. So instead of like my mother helping me with my homework or whatever, she would just do it. Some of the stuff, yes, I knew because, like I said, my grandmother taught me and I paid attention in school. So then it went to me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm 9, 10, 11, those ages, like 11, 12. And every time my mother had to go to work, she woke me up. So I would have to go down the stairs and stand on the sidewalk and watch her walk a block and a half to the bus stop. Now I'm only 9, 10, 11, 12. Who's supposed to protect me? If somebody come and get me and I'm in PJs, standing outside, winter, spring, summer, fall, watching my mother get to the bus stop, she would wait to let me know that I can go in the house. Now, if I would have went in early, I would have got a whooping. It's been times that she would get off work And we didn't have a washer and dryer back then. We had to go to the laundromat. So I would have to wash her clothes, her work uniform. I would have to wash it in the tub. Now the next day, if it wasn't washed clean as she would want it to be, then I would get in trouble. I would get a whooping, punched in my face, everything to pretty much mess my face up. And that was her way of punishing me because I look like my daddy. It was her setting me up for failure. So whatever she asked me to do, she knew, like, if she told me to go upstairs and get this shirt, she knew the shirt wasn't there to begin with. But I would go upstairs looking for the shirt. I'm not coming down because I can't find this shirt, and I know I'm gonna get a whooping. So then when she holler upstairs and like, did you find the shirt? No, the shirt ain't here. And then when I come downstairs and she would grab me by my face and say, the shirt is there. If you go up there and you look, you'll see it. And I'm like, it's not there. And so I got to the point of the age of 12 and I started rebelling because I felt like it was nobody there to take care of me or to even protect me. Like, yeah, I would tell my uncles and then they'll do something, like they'll go off on my mother and say different things. But then when they leave, I get in trouble. I get in trouble like, man, it's like a war. Because now I'm getting punched in the face, everything. So now it's time for me to graduate. 1995, I'm graduating out of 8th grade. I'm confused, don't know what to do. Yes, my mother, she bought my clothes, and I'm still like, okay, lost. I didn't pretty much know what to do or how to do it. I was always different. I was always called weird. I was always the one that thought of things before other people would think of it, and then they would get mad because I thought of it first. But that was nothing but the Holy Spirit, and I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that the Holy Spirit allowed me to see my grandmother spirit leave her body, and I was young. Like, that was my first encounter. And then after that, I would hear things. I would just, if I heard a voice that say go left, I'll go left. Go right, I'll go right. So now let's fast forward to the age of, well, we're at 12, so we're going to stick with 12. So now my mother, I didn't know that she was watching the young boys look at me because I was different. I was one of the light-skinned kids. Everybody else, it was a couple light-skinned, but I was more of the petite, skinny, outgoing. I danced. I won so many dance contests against girls and boys, did double dutch and all of that. So me just doing what everyone else, all the other kids was doing, my mother was looking at it different. She watched who was looking at me, and then so then when, I'm thinking that, oh, okay, I'm kind of liking this boy, and I'm thinking that I'm sneaking, trying to talk to him, but not knowing that my mother had already made a deal with him, that if he date me and have sex with me, then he will have to pay her, I think it was $150 every other day. I did not know back then that was a spirit of like worship and money. I didn't know that. So I would see him give my mother money all the time, but he didn't say nothing, and my mama didn't say nothing, and I'm sneaking around the corner to date him. And yes, at that time I was having sex, and I just thought that I was doing what people, little kids would do, sneak and have a boyfriend. So I end up getting pregnant at the age of 12. Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah, I was 11 at the beginning of 12. I ended up getting pregnant. And I forgot, I had told one of the girls that lived downstairs, and of course she told everybody, and my mama found out. So then when my mother found out, she charged the guy, the drug dealer, because he was a drug dealer, $250, and he had to buy my clothes. So he gave her the money to purchase my clothes plus the $250. Going into my 13th birthday, I just started feeling sick, and it was going on all the way past my birthday. So the beginning of December, my birthday is November 28th. So the beginning of December, I started feeling extremely sick. It was like water and blood was just coming out of me. So not knowing that I was having a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage. Well, yeah, I had the miscarriage. I was at the hospital. I had to get a D&C, and I also had to go into surgery and get a blood transfusion. Now, in order to get the blood transfusion, my mother had to sign a document saying that she was going to give me some of her blood. She refused to give me her blood. She said, whatever I deserve, then I deserve. So, being as though I was under 18, the doctors threatened her because it was my life at that point. So she signed the documents for me to get a blood transfusion from the blood bank. I was able to get the blood transfusion while, before I had the D&C. And so while I was in surgery to get the D&C, getting the D&C done, my mother had made another deal with the same person that he can get me pregnant again, and he had to continue giving her $250, but he had to give her $250 right then to seal the deal. So as I was coming out of surgery, coming into my room, my mother was walking out, but the drug dealer, the boyfriend, he was there. So me just relaxing and not understanding, like, why do I have to go through this? I'm the only teenager in my neighborhood that got pregnant, and everybody's having sex. I wasn't smoking, I wasn't drinking like everybody else, but I was the one that got pregnant. So he said to me once, I was there for a while in the room with him. He said, I just gave your mother $250 so I can get you pregnant again. And I was like, well, I'm going to need you to go get your money back because I'm not getting pregnant. That ain't cute. And, no, that's not for me. I don't want to have no kid. I'm still a kid. So he wasn't really trying to hear me or whatever. And he was 21. I was only 13. So, long story short, I tried my best to stay away from him, although, he was a drug dealer on the block or whatever. And then I would stay in the house, and my mother would tell him, oh, no, you can go up there and see her, and this, and the other, and because he was giving her their money. And I wouldn't fall in agreement with it, so she got mad at me and, of course, fought me, all of that. So this is where the rejection started. It started, like I said, from the womb, but then as I got older, I started feeling more rejected, and out of place. So after that, and he was actually my, like, the second person that I had sex with. The first person that I lost my virginity to, he was a high schooler, and I was in seventh grade. But I lied about my age, what teenagers do. But then eventually he knew my age because I ended up telling him. And he was still okay with that. He wasn't much older than me. And I mean, everything was okay. It was nice. It wasn't like my mama wasn't in the mix of it. It was like boyfriend, girlfriend. So fast forward. End up going to high school. Now, let me rewind. So, after 13, I was just staying in the house and all of that. So then my mama boyfriend at this time. I'm going to give you other stories about my mama boyfriend, but long story short, he convinced me to run away. So when he convinced me to run away, it was more so of, well, I don't like how your mother treat you, and she always saying this, and the other, and I don't know why she, fought you. I mean, whooped you for doing this, and this, and all of this is her doing. And mentally, I'm like, I'm so sick of it too. Finally, somebody hear me. Like, I don't got nobody that I can talk to, but finally. So he was like, if you want to go to my niece's house, I'll be outside at this time or whatever. Just pack whatever you gonna pack, and then you can go to my niece's house. I'm gonna talk to my niece. So I did just that, packed everything that I felt like I needed at that time. He was outside at midnight, like he said, and I went to his niece's house. But then when I went to the niece's house, and I was there, and no one knew I was gone or anything. So I'm there, and then he starts talking. Well, like, if your mama find out that I was the one that convinced you to run away, then she not gonna have sex with me. I'm like, here we go. I'm not gonna have sex with you either, sir. So I don't know what you plan on doing, and you can go ahead and take me home. I can't take you home because then they gonna know. I said, no, you can drop me off in the alley, and I'm gonna go on through the back and come on through the front, because no, this is not that. You was with my mama. Like, why do you want to have sex with me? I'm not understanding it. And it was because it was several times when I was younger, after my grandmother passed away. She was talking to him, and he would drive the car, and I'll be in the back seat and she'll be in the front seat, and he'll say, come in the front and sit on my lap, and I'm gonna teach you how to drive. And she was okay with that. But me being at this age, that's not okay for your daughter to sit on another man's lap, and then he set her where his penis is in his pants. Like, that's not okay, and you can't make me think that's okay. But she thought that was okay. So that happened. Like, it is so much like rejection. Sorry if I'm all over the place. So now, let me just fast forward. I'm in high school. I, have boyfriends and stuff like that. Now, I just feel like, I have to, my mother put me out there. Nobody's explaining to me, like, why she doing it. So then I just start having multiple boyfriends because I didn't feel fulfilled, or I didn't feel like I had to answer to anybody, or I needed to have one boyfriend. So I was like, pimping ain't easy. Somebody got to do it. So it was, I had the little boyfriends, and They was, me dancing and all of that. So they drew the boys to me. And it was like, well, if you want to be with me, what you got? Because now at this point, my mother is mad because I didn't get pregnant again. So now she's not buying me anything. So now I have to make my own money. So I had to hustle, learn to hustle. My hustle was to braid hair. So I learned how to braid hair. I started doing everybody here in the neighborhood. And then my mother wanted me to do her hair. She would say she wanted a certain way. I would do it that way, but that was her way to find a way to whoop me, to fight me, to hit me in my face. So that happened all the time. And then when I say I'm not doing her hair, then that, of course, another whooping. To the point that I just started fighting my mother back because I got tired. Didn't know what to do. I didn't have anyone, like I said, to tell me, like, Clarice, that's wrong. You don't do that. This, and the other. Or tell my mother, like, you don't supposed to treat your child like that. Like, it's things that you can do better. So, she ended up buying me back then, we had fanny packs, Louis Vuitton, and all of that. So she ended up buying me the Coach wallet. I had a Coach wallet with the Coach fanny pack. Ended up getting in a fight at school. And my cousin went home and told my mother that I had a fight at school. And that I threw the Coach wallet because I had it in my hand and I wasn't finna let nobody hit me. And because of all the anger and rage that I had, I knew that this person was finna come fight me. So I hit first. And I just kept going. So, long story short, got home. My mother asked me for the Coach wallet. I told her I ain't have it because I had a fight. So, that was another way of fighting. I mean, she fought me. But we will talk about in another video of how DCFS got involved. So, while she was fighting me at this time, DCFS walked in, which is Department of Human Services. I was in the system because of something that she did that the state ended up giving me to my auntie. And my mother wasn't supposed to be there in the household, but she was. So she turned the water on in the kitchen sink. And she grabbed me and she tried to drown me in the sink water. But the lady had walked in and caught her while she was doing it. While we were actually fighting, and my mother was trying to drown me. When she got caught, she stopped, of course, and she grabbed her purse and she ran out the door talking about she was gonna kill herself. So then DCFS still kept me in the household. With my aunt still allowed my mother to come there, and my mother would call and say, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna kill myself. But at this point, I'm numb, so go kill yourself. Why you take so long? Like, that's how I felt at that time. So after a while, we started going through counseling, and in counseling, one of the ones at the beginning of the meeting, because it was an hour long, the lady said to her, do your daughter know that you love her? She was like, yeah, she know I love her. She was like, well, tell her that you love her. She was like, she know that I love her. And the lady was like, why is it that you can't tell her that? So she couldn't tell me. Rejection again. So I was like, that's okay. I'm already numb to, my mother, like her actions. She's not a mother. Like, I don't see other mothers doing this to their kids. I'm the only one that's being treated like this. So I started misbehaving. Like, I started lashing out and, different things will happen to other kids. I will protect them and I will fight whoever is, bullying them or did something to them, because I felt like I didn't have the protection, so I'm going to protect somebody else. Like, I can help them, And I'll do my best, depending on the situation to help myself. But that anger and rage was like, no, I know this not right. And can't nobody tell me that this is right. So fast forward, I end up getting pregnant with my son. Not knowing that my mother was pregnant too. Yes. Part 3 for Rejected from the Womb. Talk to you later.